You know, when you put all that into context, 25 new players, budgets reduced, new coaching staff, 25 new players are now having to work all day and then train at 8:30 and finish at 10 o'clock at night. There's a little bit more understanding there about, you know, why it's taking us a little bit longer to gel and why it's taking us a little bit longer to get the results. I do feel like we've got a great team, we've got a great squad, we've got lots of potential and lots of growth, and we're starting to get our head around that now. And there was always going to be that transitional period, and you know, it's frustrating for fans because they're comparing to, if we're honest, they're comparing something that's non-existent anymore. We're not a Super League team. We're not spending, you know, a massive amount on salary, and we're not full time, and we've not got all week to prepare with lots and lots of different coaching staff and lots of, you know, S&C support and medical support. What we do have now is a real close-knit team, you know.
Before we get to this weekend's big match on Friday night against Newcastle, just a general catch-up, really. It's been a week or so since that Dewsbury win. How was that afternoon?
Yeah, it was a good afternoon. I think, you know, the boys have felt for a couple of weeks prior to that, you know, the performances were improving, and when we thought we were kind of finding our straps, and, you know, if we're honest, we sort of targeted the Sheffield game as the one to kind of to kickstart our season, really. And unfortunately, it didn't quite pan out that way. And then off the back of that, I think there was a real lack of confidence going into that league game. And, you know, ultimately we didn't turn up and the performance wasn't good enough. So, you know, we reassessed, we reevaluated, we regrouped that week leading up to the Dewsbury game. And we knew, you know, they were going to come down with all guns blazing. And, you know, essentially that was their cup final as well. So, you know, it was important that we got that victory, and it was nice to be able to do it at home in front of our home fans and, you know, give them something to cheer about. You know, the majority of them are stuck around behind us all the way through the season. So, you know, it was nice to give them something to cheer about.
And just to go back to that Sheffield match, because it based on your post-match interview anyway, from memory, you were talking about, you know, you wanted a full 80-minute performance, and that's what kind of let you down. But going into that game, you know, thereabouts against Bradford, against Barrow, we'll draw against Barrow, and the York City Knights. So there has been encouraging signs, hasn't there, before the Sheffield match?
Yeah, I think so. You know, I think the York game was a better performance. I think the score, in reality, the score probably flattered as we came back towards the end of the game, and you know, that had been probably a trait of what we'd done throughout the season. Really, we dipped our toe in and waited till we were behind, and then kind of jumped in full bloody. So, you know, it was nice to get a decent performance. And then going into the Bradford game, I thought, you know, we were really unfortunate. I'm sure plenty of people have seen the video of the try that wasn't the try with Alex Walker at the end of the game. So I think, you know, that was a real kick in the teeth for us. And, you know, unfortunately, we didn't get the decision at that time. And then going up to Barrow, obviously, we went up there full of confidence and really believed we were going to go up there and get something. And again, you know, I think the measure of the performances leading up to that game, the boys were really disappointed off the back of that result with Barrow. And, you know, in reality, when you look at it on the plain face of things, they were sat near the top of the table and not lost a game for a long period of time. And we were the first team to go up there and take points off them in a long period. And, you know, we were disappointed coming out the back of that, as opposed to happy that we picked up our first point. So yeah, building up to that Sheffield game, you know, there was a lot of confidence going into it, and it was disappointing to come out with the way we performed in the second half, and the game slipped away from us.
But confidence should be sky high now after the Dewsbury win. I mean, how important is that result, do you feel, in the grand scheme of things of this season?
You know, massive on different fronts. You know, big for us as a club. It was important for us to get that monkey off our back and give the players, as you said, a little bit of confidence and that belief to go on and get a result. And you know, big in the context of the league, I think had Dewsbury won that, they'd have gone to 6 points and pulled away from us. Really, they'd have been 5 points clear and give themselves a little bit of a cushion. Whereas now, you know, the gap's fairly close, and we know we've got to play them again. You know, we've still got Newcastle twice, who are in and around us. You know, Widnes have unfortunately taken a turn for the worse, and you know, we've got them to come. So there's teams and the fixtures that are coming up that, you know, we feel if we can keep putting our performances together and just keep progressing and improving each game, then, you know, we will go a long way to sort of getting some more results on the board and get some more points on the board. And, you know, ultimately that's what every coach is wanting. They're wanting, you know, ideally to start the season a lot better than what we did, but they want to see improvements week on week, and they want to see their team getting better and gelling together each game. And I think that's something we are doing. I think there's, you know, a real good sort of cohesion amongst the group. They know where we're at. They know what potential we've got, and it was just about, as you said, getting that first win on under our belt, and then really trying to kick on from there.
And just to give a bit of background to this season as well, because obviously last year the London Broncos were full time, pretty much, weren't they? And playing somewhere else in London. This year, playing at Wimbledon, semi-professional now. So, I mean, with regards to that transition, how difficult has that been? Because obviously it's a step up for you as well, joining the club from the Scholars. So, I mean, how's all that transition been for the Broncos?
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot to take into consideration. I think, it's easy to sit here and talk about the context of the situation that we're in, and it's easy probably for people to sit on the other side of the fence and maybe say it's an excuse, but again, just as you said, to put things into context, our budget is obviously very different to what it was. We're no longer full time, so people are working during the day. On top of that, by the time I'd got the job and I'd been announced, we were as a squad of 6 players, and we brought in 24, 25 new players. And it's interesting. I was watching the NRL the other day. They were talking about the Cronulla Sharks, and they'd brought in 6 players, and 3 of those players into the spine, and give them 8 to 9 weeks to gel properly. We've brought in 25 new players and trying to get them to gel to a new system. And again, for the boys that were there full time, it's that transition from going, having all day to prepare and all week to prepare, and having the best sort of setup, to trying to do that in a matter of hours on the pitch. Again, the facilities that we train at is fantastic. The downside to the facilities that we share it with Roslyn Park, and they train on the same nights as us. So we don't get on the field until 8:30, so we're not coming off the field till 10 o'clock. So when you put all that into context, 25 new players, budgets reduced, new coaching staff, 25 new players are now having to work all day and then train at 8:30 and finish at 10 o'clock at night. There's a little bit more understanding there about why it's taken us a little bit longer to gel, and why it's taken us a little bit longer to get the results. I do feel like we've got a great team, we've got a great squad, we've got lots of potential and lots of growth, and we're starting to get our head around that now. And there was always going to be that transitional period, and it's frustrating for fans because they're comparing to, if we're honest, they're comparing something that's non-existent anymore. We're not a Super League team. We're not spending a massive amount on salary, and we're not full time, and we've not got all week to prepare with lots and lots of different coaching staff and lots of S&C support and medical support. What we do have now is a real close-knit team. Mike Eccles is fantastic, and everyone that works with him will know how good he is and what he can deliver. Charlie Baxter on the medical team is brilliant, and my brother's been a bit of a godsend, really, working with me and coaching me. It's something we've always wanted to do, so to get to do it at this level is amazing. So we're working really hard, and the context is very different, but it's something that we're all enjoying and we're all sort of taking in our stride.
And what I know you mentioned the training facilities, but the home venue is brilliant, isn't it? Really, what you got there at Wimbledon?
It's special. It's special, and the fans say it all the time. It's a stadium that belongs to being Super League. It's just the ideal rugby league stadium, 10,000 seater stadium, really small, very compact. Pitch is amazing. Changing rooms are unbelievable. It's something that we couldn't ask anything more for. That's the best pitch we can play on, really. And now, as I said to you, it's about getting the results on the board and performing on the pitch and giving the fans not only the best experience in terms of turning up to a brilliant ground, but being able to see a team that's been successful and winning games. And that's what we're all working towards. And as you said at the start, it's a different context, but it's a project, and it's something that we're all working really hard and we're enjoying along the way.
So that then takes us to Friday night against the Newcastle Thunder. Like we touched upon here, I mean, there or thereabouts. I mean, I used that phrase earlier, but against Bradford, York, Barrow Raiders, not a million miles off Sheffield, really. So this weekend it'll be a good indication of that progress that you're after.
Yeah, I think so. I think Newcastle have had their sort of their troubles and their problems with injuries as well, and similar, they're working on a new model in terms of how they are full time and how their players work and stuff. So they're going through a new transition period. They've got lots of young lads coming through up there, and there's some fantastic talent coming through. And they've also signed really well, Eamon using his links at Wigan, and Dennis using his links from Wigan, and they brought in really, really good players. I mean, some of them worked with myself. I think Craig Mullen spent a fair bit of time at Scholars with me, and had a huge impact on my team. So I'm fully aware of how good he can be and how much he can bring to a team. And similar to us, probably they've had some up and down performances, some good wins and some close losses, and they'll be coming down here full of confidence and looking to get a result on the board. And obviously it's up to us to step up now and, like you said, just show that progress that we're making and use that sort of momentum that we've got from the Dewsbury result and see if we can get over the line. And
just a final message to the home faithful. A Friday night game this weekend. A win on the board now. Get yourself down to Plough Lane, I suppose.
Yeah, 100%. It was amazing last week at the stadium, the atmosphere. It's something I haven't experienced while working in London. The fans were there in good numbers. As I said, it's a small, compact stadium, so it sounds like there's double, triple the amount that are there. And it was great for the boys to have them cheering and chanting, and fantastic that we was able to put a good performance in and get a result on the board. And it just made for a fantastic bank holiday weekend. And hopefully, as you said, fans get down there, supporters get the drum going and be nice and loud. And hopefully we can kickstart that weekend and set it off on a good note.